All right, we're on. Hey there, Detroit sports fanatics, and welcome to Taylor's Detroit Sports Show, post-game Sunday, April 12th, 2015 at 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm Taylor Phillips. Tigers complete the three-game sweep at Progressive Field over the Cleveland Indians with an 8-5 win today in Cleveland. Let's check out the scoring summary. From the MLB.com at-bat mobile app. Wait till it loads. There's the tail of the tape. Summary. Scroll all the way up. Let's see here. The Tigers got their first run on a double steal and a throwing error, both in one play. Rajai Davis stole third base when the throw sailed in the left field down the line, while Ian Kinsler stole second, and then Rajai came home to score, and Ian Kinsler advanced to third and stopped there with Miguel Cabrera at bat. A Rajai Davis walk and an Ian Kinsler single set the stage for Miguel Cabrera. Roberto Perez, the backup catcher, started today for the Cleveland Indians, and he made a terrible throwing error, allowing Davis to score. And then just after that, Miguel Cabrera sailed a 2-run home run. Miguel Cabrera destroyed one into the left field seats for a 2-run home run. That made it 3-0. The Indians in the bottom of the first would only get one on a Carlos Santana RBI single. It was 3-1 Tigers after that. Kyle Lobstein started against first-timer TJ House. TJ House would only receive beginner's luck. As he would give up 3 more runs before departing, only getting 1 out in the top of the second. Tigers would get those other 3 runs on a Miguel Cabrera RBI single. He would finish with that. He would total up to 3 runs thus far at that point. That scored Rajai Davis. And then 2 batters later, J.D. Martinez drove in Ian Kinsler and Miguel Cabrera with a single, a 2-run single, in other words, making it 6-1. The Cabrera single made it 4-1. The J.D. single made it 6-1. Bottom of the third, Ryan Rayburn hit a long 2-run single, scoring Carlos Santana and Brandon Moss, making it 6-3 in the bottom of the third. Then top of the fourth, Miguel Cabrera hit another home run, a solo shot to left, his second of the game and of the season, making it 7-3. It would stay that way until the bottom of the 8th, with Blaine Hardy on the mound facing Lonnie Chisenhall, who would ground out, scoring Brandon Moss from third and advancing Ryan Rayburn from second to third. That made it 7-4 Tigers. And then Blaine Hardy would give up another sacrifice fly Another one on a sacrifice fly off the bat of Roberto Perez, the backup catcher, scoring Ryan Rayburn. Blaine Hardy would start the bottom of the 8th inning by walking Brandon Moss and then giving up a double to Ryan Rayburn, the former Tiger. But Hardy would get Michael Bourne to pop out to Jose Iglesias at short to end the bottom of the 8th inning, and the Tigers would hang on to their 7-5 lead for now. Let's go to the top of the 9th. Only one run scored, and that would belong to the Tigers. J.D. Martinez would get his third RBI on a solo home run to left center field. That made it 8-5. Joaquin Soria would only give up one hit and still make his second save, earn his second save of the year. The first one pitching a full inning this season. Not bad for a pitcher, for a relief pitcher who should be a closing pitcher to most of us, if not all. Kyle Lomstein would get the win. TJ House would get an oh so ugly loss. Lomstein would only go 5 innings flat. Gave up 8 runs on. Gave up 8 hits, 3 earned runs. Walked 2, and struck out 3. His ERA has risen up to 5.40. Blaine Hardy's ERA has risen up to 9 flat after giving up two earned runs on 1 hit. He walked 1, didn't strike out anybody. Soria did not give up a hit. He allowed a runner on a throwing error by Jose Iglesias. He was getting too anxious, as Jim Price mentioned on the radio. Jim Price did a good job explaining how Jose Iglesias made that throwing error on the Detroit Tigers radio network. Soria would not give up any hits. He would not walk any batters for Cleveland. He would strike out 1. And that strikeout victim was none other than Jerry Sands, who yesterday knocked in 4 runs in a losing effort. Tigers offense was just too much. I would give the Tigers offense more of the credit than I would give the pitching and defense credit. That their defense has shown some flashes. With the gloves, Jonas Cespedes robbing a Minnesota Twins hitter of a home run on opening day. And a couple diving stops by Nick Castellanos in this series in Cleveland. Miguel Cabrera would finish with 4 RBIs, including 2 home runs. Got an update on Justin Verlander. He's on track for a simulated game after a bullpen session. He threw a 45-pitch bullpen session Sunday morning at Progressive Field, putting him on track to throw a simulated game Wednesday and possibly return to the game action after that. Verlander's session was his second off a mound in 3 days. This time he threw all of his pitches, including the curveball that was the source of the triceps soreness that sidelined him a couple weeks ago. Verlander said when he asked how he felt, quote, "Really good, about as well as I could have expected. I didn't really feel anything at all, so just keep moving forward. It's a day by day thing. Has been this whole time. Today I wasn't able to throw a good bullpen. I didn't feel anything. So next step is a simulated game." That will take place in Pittsburgh while the Tigers wrap up their 6-game 2-city road trip. Verlander will throw 15 pitches, sit down, and then throw 15 more, simulating the sit-down portion between innings. How many times he'll sit down and get back up remains to be seen. It'll be Verlander's first session against hitters since he left his spring training start March 27th against the Blue Jays. The Tigers return home Friday to face the White Sox, starting a 10-game homestand. They're in Pittsburgh starting tomorrow at 1:35. Detroit could go with just four starters until April 21st against the Yankees. More likely, however, the Tigers would give Kyle Lobstein another start if Verlander wasn't ready. They did today, and he got a 5-inning win. 5-inning effort win. Let's see how many games they play in Pittsburgh. The Tigers play a three-game series in Pittsburgh. Starting tomorrow at 1:35, as I just mentioned. And the other two are on Tuesday and Wednesday at 7:05. Then the Tigers have Thursday off. Then they return home to play the White Sox in a 3-game set. Both games start at 1:08, Friday through Sunday. Then they play the Yankees in a 4-game set. First 3 of those 4 games are at 7:08, start at 7:08. The series finale at 1:08. Tigers play the Indians again at Comerica Park at 7:08 Friday, Saturday and Sunday, 25th and 26th at 1:08. Then they play the sloppy Minnesota Twins at Target Field in a 3-game series Monday and Tuesday at 8:10, Wednesday at 1:10. Then they go to Kansas City and take on the yet undefeated Royals. Both the Tigers and Royals are undefeated. Thursday, April 30th at 8:10. Friday, May 1st at 8:10. Saturday, May 2nd at 7:10. And then Sunday, May 3rd at 2:10. You can call in at 646-478-4837. That is 646-478-4837. Or you can text message me at text message me at 231-429-3668. Make sure you give out your name, city, and state as you text message live on the show. Just like it has the past few years, the Tigers' offense has propelled them to wins, and so has their starting pitching. Well, portionally. Lobstein gave up 3 runs. Hardy gave up 2. Another game where the starting pitching has given up more runs than the relief pitching, which is odd. Which is very odd. Yesterday, David Price gave up 3 runs, all unearned. And Tom Gorzelani didn't give up any. He only gave up a hit in 1 2/3 innings. Al Albuquerque, Ian Kroll, and Joaquin Soria each gave up a run. That's a 3. So the starting pitching and relief pitching each gave up 3 runs yesterday. This is only a 30-minute show. So I advise you to go to MLB.com, look at the or Tigers.com, click on their schedule, and click on each game and find the box score and total up the stats yourself to see how much more runs the starting pitching has given up than the relief pitching has given up. We have 11 minutes. I have 11 minutes left on my show. So I'm going to recap the Pistons' blowout win over the Charlotte Hornets at the Palace. The Pistons wind up with a season-high blowout win in the Palace home finale, 116-77 over the Charlotte Hornets. The 39-point victory eclipsed a 28-point winning margin also against the Hornets on February 10th. The Hornets are a bad team. The Hornets are the horrible Hornets. They're horrible. Detroit's largest losing margin this season also came against the Hornets by 24 points on April 1st. The Pistons at 31-49 right now never let the shorthanded Hornets at 33-46 into the game, jumping to leads of 20 points after the first quarter and as much as 34 before halftime, which to that point of the game, which was their largest lead in any game this season. David Mayo headline from MLive.com headlines: Pistons 116, Hornets 77, season high blowout for Detroit in Palace home finale. Charlotte Charlotte shot 34.2% from the field, the worst against the Pistons this season. Its 77 points also were the fewest allowed by Detroit this season, eclipsing the February 10th game at Charlotte, which the Pistons won 106-78. The Pistons were 16 of 28 on three-pointers, 57.1%, their second most three-pointers made this season and in franchise history. The record, 17, was set in a December 28th game at Cleveland, where the Pistons play Monday. Highlights: the Pistons jumped to a 13-2 lead, and by the time it was 19-6, they had gotten 17 of their points from Andre Drummond and Greg Monroe. Drummond finished with 15 points and 19 rebounds, yet another double-double. He's got a double-double in like all games except one or two. And Greg, which is so incredible. The Pistons need to sign Drummond to a long-term contract or something like that. And Greg Monroe finished with 17 points and 9 rebounds. Pistons led 30-10 after the first quarter when Charlotte shot 21% from the field, 4 of 19. Yep, the horrible Hornets. I just nailed it right on the nose. The Pistons' 40-point lead in the fourth quarter was their largest of the season, in eclipsing a 33-point lead in a 97-81 win over the New York Knicks on January 2nd. Jody Meeks had 24 points, leading the team in scoring, and Anthony Tolliver 17. Anthony Tolliver scored 17 off the Detroit bench. They made 4 and 5 three-pointers, respectively. Meeks had 4. Tolliver had 5. The Pistons out-rebounded the Hornets 56-33, their largest rebounding differential of the season. The Pistons just dominating in all categories, pretty much all categories. Field goal shooting, three-point shooting, rebounds, this and that, and on the scoreboard, most importantly. Lowlights, those all belong to the Hornets, who are playing without 4 key players because of injuries. Centers Al Jefferson and Cody Zeller, the former Indiana Hoosier, and small forwards Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Lance Stevenson. Of the 4, only Stevenson might return before the season ends. The Hornets are, by the way, the Pistons are not playing the Hornets anymore this season. They're on the road for 2 games to wrap up their regular season in Cleveland tomorrow on my 31st birthday at 7 against LeBron James, Kevin Love of the Cavaliers, and on Wednesday at 8 in New York against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden. Both games are going to be on Fox Sports Detroit and Detroit Sports 105.1. The Hornets are 27-28 when Kidd-Gilchrist plays in 17 and 7-16 and 7-16 when he sits. So almost sounds like I'm mentioning an illegal name on a live broadcast, on a live copyrighted broadcast. Kidd-Gilchrist sounds a little more like Kid Chris to me, except with a gill. Yikes. Wicked. Hornets rookie guard P.J. Hairston suffered an apparent right leg injury when Drummond rolled up his leg in the fourth quarter. I sound like Max Headroom, stuttering and repeating, except without the lines in the back of me. No background moving lines or anything like that. And I don't have glasses, or I do have some kind of different significantly different hair as I'm simulcasting on Google Plus Hangouts and on Ustream.tv. Check me out on those. The Google Plus Hangouts air will be recorded and processed and finished on YouTube, on my YouTube channel via Google Plus. Follow me as Taylor Phillips and add me as a friend. Hairston went straight to the locker room. His status was not known. 3.5 minutes left on my podcast. The season finale drew 17,297, giving the Pistons total season attendance of 625,917, an average of 15,266, 26 in the NBA. It's the second consecutive season they finished 26 in attendance, and their fourth consecutive year-over-year attendance increase. Quincy Miller made his first 2 3-pointers as a Piston in the fourth quarter. The Pistons have made 15 or more 3-pointers 5 times in franchise history, 3 of them this season. The Hornets were 18 of 38 on shots in the paint and 18 of 38 on shots in the paint and 9 of 41 on shots outside the paint. Well, while the Hornets struggled horribly, the Pistons dominated incredibly, proving by my point that they still don't necessarily need a top lottery draft pick in the NBA draft this offseason. They already have a good roster. Just missing one ingredient, branded to the recipe, Brandon Jennings. With him on the roster and a full boat, a full house, they can score like over 130 points per game starting next season. Isn't that incredible? Or at least 120. Maybe I'm exaggerating, but imagine how much offense Brandon Jennings can help the Pistons provide as a team, game by game next season. No matter what kind of NBA lottery draft pick they come up with, as long as Brandon Jennings is there, the Pistons offense will not only bail their horrible defense out, but their offensive production will skyrocket. Yeah, it will. Just imagine that. Their offensive production on the court will be so incredibly high. I'm going to preview the Red Wings and Lightning series on Spreaker later tonight, if that's okay with you guys. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Thanks for listening. Talk to you tomorrow night. TTFN, ta-ta for now.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.